This is what they call a cardioid. Topsnap Podcast. We're live. Recorded live. We are live. These are what they call cardioid microphone phones. So you kind of have to, if you're off to the side, well, you have to just kind of direct it to the center.
Gotcha.
We have Mr. Brandon on.
Yes.
Me, Topsnap.
It's good to be here, man.
Yeah, thank you. This is awesome. I'm stoked. I was talking about last night's podcast and how I wanted to bring you on because you're a fight fan and a world traveler and kind of like, I don't know, just an all-around type of person that I kind of like to surround myself with. I don't know, you just seem like you have that knowledge of just that it's not just about here. There's so much culture in the world, so that kind of gives you a different perspective of stuff.
I appreciate that,
right?
You know,
I mean, I would imagine you've been to China,
Thailand, all those good places. Yeah.
You went to Thailand. Did you watch any Thai boxing fights at all?
No, we didn't. We wanted to, but we didn't.
That would have been epic, huh?
Oh God.
Yeah.
I should have done it next time.
Next time. Yeah, maybe I'll be able to join you guys on the trip.
Absolutely.
This is a podcast for UFC 202 preview, pre-show, pre-something.
The hype.
Getting
it hyped up.
You're a McGregor fan, right?
Huge
McGregor fan.
Huge McGregor fan.
He likes McGregor, and I think I've become a pretty big Nate Diaz fan, to be honest.
You know what? I'm a big Nate Diaz fan.
Are you?
I always have been. How am I sounding? Should I get closer?
Here.
Especially after that fight, how could you not respect him? But Connor's just the man to me. He's the man. He's got that. He's got the it factor.
Yeah, he did. I was saying it last night on last night's podcast. Like, it at a certain point, this guy has taken the game. He calls it a game, the fight game, and it is. And he's taken this fight game and he's really turned it into a business for himself on a lot of different levels. Now, whether it's shit talking or what have you, he's still smart about it. He's broken it down to a different level.
Yep.
And Nate Diaz has also done that too as well. He was kind of saying the other day on one of these shows that were like the pre-202 show, like, why would you want to see two friends fight? There's not going to be that power of
that struggle,
that competition, that
absolutely.
So that it factor,
unless it turns to like a Uriah Faber, T.J. Dillashaw type of hatred.
Yeah,
then
but
it gets interesting.
Even then, there's not enough hype before that.
Yeah.
Not saying that these fights are based out solely on hype, but there's not enough attraction, I think, to bring an audience. Mm-hmm. Like I mentioned last night on about the 200 UFC 200. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did the whole thing. Yep.
What's your
on paper, one of the greatest cards ever, but once it went down, I was pretty disappointed.
Did you like the oh my God, the big man
Lesnar?
No, tall Travis Brown versus Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, you know what, Cain, I picked Cain to win that fight. I knew he was going to be on a mission because he had a couple losses for that.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Brown was kind of on a roll, but I was disappointed with Travis Brown, man. He gave up.
You think he did? Well, I think he just got his ass handed to him.
He did. He got his ass kicked, but at the same time, I mean, he turtled up at the end, and I was like, wow, but Cain's the man. I think he'll win the belt again.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
No shit.
But yeah, I was kind of disappointed with Travis Brown, actually. But it happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Cain will get that belt back.
That's interesting.
Yeah. The Verdum, believe it or not, I bet on Verdum to beat Cain.
You did?
Oh yeah, and I think he was like a 4 or 5 to 1.
So you made money on that?
Oh yeah. But Verdum picked him up hard on the feet.
Yeah.
He's not really known for striking, right?
Well, he trains with one of the best Muay Thai kickboxers that's ever lived.
But he's a submission guy.
Yeah, he is. His core is submission, but he he trains at King's MMA, and those guys are beasts of strikers over there. Strikers, kickers. They really practice and go through a lot of that. His clinch game's amazing.
Yeah.
They really practice that clinch. and that's what gives them an edge. But now they've lost all their belts. No more belts over at Kings.
How crazy is it? All the different champions going on right now.
Yeah, just a switch after switch, and then that's what brought up this other point that a lot of people are talking about. So if Conor McGregor wins this fight, now it's kind of like, okay, 1 for 1, we got to go for a tiebreaker, and you have Diaz McGregor 3.
So this is my conspiracy theory. You might have heard this.
No, go hear it. Speak into it just a little bit more.
And in my opinion, if Diaz loses this fight, he will make more money.
Yes.
They interviewed Conor. They said if you won the rematch, would you give him a trilogy? And he said absolutely there would be a trilogy.
Exactly. He'd be stupid not to have a trilogy, because that's almost like the verification of, okay, well, this guy, what? It depends on how Conor wins. Okay. If Conor goes in there and blows him out the water, which I don't think that's going to happen, but if he did, let's just say they go 3 or 4 rounds and he's just working Diaz and KOs him in the 3rd or 4th round.
I don't see that, but
if it did,
there wouldn't be a trilogy.
Not saying that there wouldn't. I just don't think that it would bring enough people in as to where if he knocked him out really fast, then it's like, oh shit, there's a lot of questions there.
Right.
Or if it goes to decision.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, well, fuck, it could have gone either way. We need a trilogy to verify this win.
But this is the thing. If Nate loses, and let's just say they give him the trilogy, he would make another $4 or $5 million maybe.
Well, what do you think he's going to make on this one?
Probably 2 to 4. 2 to 4 million. Conor said
that, and he's gonna get a portion of the pay-per-view, which this pay-per-view might break records.
It will surely beat UFC 200. I don't think it'll beat UFC 196, which is the highest of all time.
It is, huh?
Yeah. Even versus Jose Aldo. Highest of all time.
Really?
Yep. I don't think it'll beat that, but I think it'll beat UFC 200.
So 196 wasn't... which one was it with Diaz before? Was that 198?
Yeah, it had to be after 196. 198. Yeah, I think it was 198.
198, right?
Because he fought right after it. But I think this will be UFC 200.
I think so. 200 was...
But back to the conspiracy theory, okay?
Yeah, let me hear it.
So if he loses, if I'm Nate Diaz, and I'm not saying he's going in there to throw the fight, but why wouldn't you lose to make another $4 million? Because if he beats Conor, it's over. I don't think he'll get any... He'll never make as much money as he will fighting...
You don't think so?
No. God, no. He may get a title fight at like 155 where he'll make some money. He'll never get another fight where he makes this type of money. When you fight Conor, you're making more money than anybody. Anybody who fights him.
I mean, I can't really disagree with you wholly on that. The only thing I can disagree with you on that is that he's money motivated completely. Yep. I don't believe that's his character, even though he wants to make money. I think, listen, if he beats McGregor again, think about the kind of media run, the kind of name that he's going to be building for himself. That's no small feat. And now he just dethroned the guy second time.
Which could very well happen.
I mean, shit, he could basically write his own ticket at that point.
Yeah.
You know, as far as what he wants to do in life. I mean, branding wise.
He may want to get out of the game and, like you said, create his own brand.
You never know.
Do something on
his
own.
I mean, his brother's already started his own gym. Yeah. He could start another gym. I mean, the world would be his open. There's so many opportunities. People with money are going to come to him. Sponsorships are going to pay him a trash load of cash.
He's gained so much more notoriety
just off of one fight. Yeah. So if he beats him again, just if he rides the wave correctly.
Yeah.
You know, if he does ride the wave correctly, and he could go against he's not into title shots, but I mean, imagine if he beats Conor. And then he goes back down to his normal 155 lightweight weight, and he fights Eddie Alvarez, who's a fucking nightmare of a beast.
Yep.
That's a crazy fight then itself. I mean, I know it doesn't have the Conor McGregor pull because Eddie Alvarez hasn't really built his name up. But
that's the thing. He doesn't really have a name.
I know, but at that point, now Nate has a name built for himself.
True.
Now he's dethroned and made the guy who looked unstoppable. Stoppable.
It will be interesting. I'll tell you this is going to be a great fight. Either way, The thing about Conor is he has never specifically trained for an opponent in his whole life.
And this one he did.
And this time he did. He spent a ton of money on the camp. He brought in guys that mimicked Diaz's frame, his style. He's prepared. But at the same time, Diaz took the fight on 10 days' notice and whooped his ass. So,
well, okay, so you say he whipped his ass. Now this is funny because now I'm going to take the opposite side of it. I reviewed the fight again. That first round was totally McGregor. And McGregor was fucking him up.
Nate's notoriously known as a slow starter.
Yeah, he is.
So,
but he did get worked that first round.
He got worked the first round.
If you had to just judge one round fight, Nate Diaz lost.
No,
bad.
It might have been a 10-8 round.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
seriously.
Uppercuts and everything.
I was thinking about this. Conor dominated that first round, but Conor was throwing everything at him. He was trying to knock him out.
Yeah, he was throwing the kitchen sink at him.
After the first round, he's got to be thinking to himself, this guy's not going down. I mean, I still think he felt confident.
Yeah, I think he did. I think because he knew he was landing shots, and he knew inside that, okay, well, this guy's a beast. I'm just gonna have to work him for more rounds, and he got a little bit gassed. I think,
well,
and he got clipped.
He got gassed.
He got gassed and he got clipped, and when he got clipped, that kind of, I mean, you could see it in his eyes. He was like, his face went like, oh shit, like he
had nothing left. He had nothing left.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I'm out. Yep. This is.
And if this fight goes to the ground, it's over. Not to say that submission. Conor can't get up. He can get up, but it's worry time if it goes to the ground.
If he gets his if Nate gets his back, it's over.
Oh yeah.
But if he gets on top, I've seen Conor scramble out of a lot of different bad positions. He's very fast in his scrambles.
Chad Mendes.
Yeah, but Chad Mendes didn't have the coverage. He had the strength,
but
he didn't have the coverage. And when you have that coverage, those long arms, long legs, to really base out, because
well, he's a wrestler. He just held him down.
Yeah, and he doesn't have, like I said, he has good base, but he doesn't have those long arms and long legs to defeat a longer opponent that McGregor was. Right. Chad Mendes got bucked off. He got thrown, to the side. He couldn't keep the base on him, whereas Nate has those outriggers.
And the other thing is, if you think about it, right, Conor has trouble with bigger opponents.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Duffy fight, he was bigger than Conor. Early Duffy fight.
One
of his losses.
Patrick Duffy beat him, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he submitted him just like Nate. But I'm just saying, Conor's usually the bigger fighter in all of his fights because he's such a massive 145er.
Yeah. And he used to fight at lightweight though back in the day, right?
He had the belts in 145 and 155 in the promotion he was fighting for. I forget the name of it, but
never in the UFC.
What do you mean?
He's never held two belts at the same time in the UFC, but in the other promotion that he
had both.
He had both.
He had both, 145, 155. And 155 is probably his natural class, I would say.
Really?
Yeah. It's too much weight to cut for him, 145.
Yeah, he looks like Skeletor, like Joe Rogan says. Skeletor.
Yeah. Oh, he looks so bad. He looks terrible. He looks just sucked up. Conor could very well, because he's going to fight Jose Aldo after this, right? No matter what. That's what Dana White said.
Well,
that's what Dana White said. And Conor doesn't want to give up that belt.
Or Conor gets... Well, see, this is the thing, how I look at it. If Conor wins, I say he vacates the belt.
Goes to 155?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I could see that.
But then I think he's got a fucking way bigger... Dude, Eddie Alvarez is a beast. Did you see how he beat the shit out of Dos Anjos? Oh. Dude, Dos Anjos is my hero.
You like RDA, huh?
Oh man, that guy is like my hero.
I wanted to see McGregor RDA.
I think McGregor has no chance against RDA.
Oh, I think you're crazy.
But just watching Alvarez run over RDA was just, he overpowered him to where there's no way Conor has anything against Eddie Alvarez.
I think Alvarez is a worse matchup for Conor than RDA.
He's a bad matchup for RDA. He's a bad matchup for Cowboy Cerrone. He's a bad matchup for Nate Diaz. He's a bad matchup for Conor McGregor. He's a bad matchup for a lot of people.
Well, because he can take anybody down, too.
And he's super strong and super fast, and he takes licks. But, I mean, RDA kind of almost had him for a quick second. Yeah. But I think he was still, like, dazed.
No, it was it was definitely a little bit of a shock to see what he did to RDA. He looked great. He looked great.
Yeah, he did.
Everybody always underestimates Alvarez too. Everybody underestimates.
Well, he's a Bellator. He's a Bellator champ that came over to UFC.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't his. How many fights had he had in the UFC? Was that his first?
No. He beat Pettis. Remember?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he beat Pettis. Yeah,
that's what it is. He beat Pettis.
He had like 3-4 fights in the UFC before this fight. But he should have been in the UFC 5 years ago.
I'm gonna turn this just. No, go ahead. You're good. I'm just gonna point that towards you a little bit.
But he should have been in the UFC 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Eddie Alvarez, for sure.
But I think his progression on how he's gotten into the UFC, Brendan Schaub was talking about, the UFC is the premier. It's the premier fighting club. And like with CM Punk trying to get into the premier fighting club, why doesn't CM Punk, I get the fact that Dana White wanted to sign him and it's all this bullshit, how they do it with marketing. It's all about entertainment and stuff. But in reality, that guy should be in like Bellator or Fight FC or whatever, a different promotion, not UFC. UFC's it's like the NFL. It's like, put them in Canadian football first. They do good in the Canadian Football League. Then you grab them and put them in the UFC or in the NFL. Sort of like the same type of.
He's going from high school to pros.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys that do that.
I just don't see him. And he's older. He's an older guy.
He's not even going to high school. I mean, the guy's never even fought.
He's wrestled,
but he's never fought.
Right.
So it's like he's coming out of like just training camp.
I don't have a lot of high hopes for him. We'll see, though. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Against the lower class guys who are just getting in the UFC, those would be good matchups for him. I think that's a place for him to work at ranks. But for him to go in against any top 10 guys, he's going to get his ass smashed.
No, he'll get
beat up.
Slaughtered, yeah.
He'll get beat up bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no way.
He trains with Pettis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but you can train with these guys. I mean, I train with fucking world-class fighters. I'd fucking get my ass kicked even if I got in there with the low class of UFC fighters. So,
yeah. But I'd rather learn from the best, I guess.
Guaranteed. But to go against, like he was going to go against that Garborough. What's that kid's name? The young guy who got in there who was he was going to fight. He just got into the UFC, young kid. I think his name is Garborough. His last name Garborough.
Yeah, I heard him.
And he was going to fight. CM Punk, and CM Punk had an injury or something.
His back, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a young kid. I think that young kid would have smashed on Cody
Garbrandt? No way.
Garbrandt.
That can't be because Cody fights at 135. CM Punk's like what? Fights at 170?
I thought he was 155. No.
No, he's 135. He's a small little guy, but I think he could be the future champ of that division.
Okay.
Although Dominic Cruz, we'll see what happens. But he's a small guy.
Okay, he's a small guy.
But we'll see, man. It should be interesting. We'll see how it goes. It's coming up, right? In the next month or two, I think he's fighting.
Is he?
Yeah.
203, I think it is.
Yeah, so
UFC
next month.
I think it's at the end of this month.
End of this month? There you go.
Maybe.
Who knows? We'll see.
Okay, what do you like about Anthony Johnson?
So I would pick him over Glover.
Glover Teixeira.
He's just got so much power, man. He's got too much power, I think, for Glover. If it goes to the ground, it's a different story, obviously. Rumble Johnson is probably the second or third best fighter in that division. Obviously behind, Cormier and Gustafsson, I would say. The only ones that could really probably beat him. Glover's up there, don't get me wrong. He could do it, but I'd pick Rumble in that one.
I think Rumble Johnson... Oh, shit, so sorry about that.
I think he knocks him out.
Really?
Yeah.
Rumble's going to knock out Glover Teixeira?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who do you like?
They're both amazing. This is a coin flip. For me, I think this is going to be one of the best fights of the year.
I don't know the odds on it. I'm guessing Rumble's favored. Maybe, but it's probably pretty close.
If he gets a little gas, which normally he doesn't get gassed, but he did get gassed against Daniel Cormier.
Yeah,
and he got choked out.
Yep.
Excuse me. That might be a fucking repeat for him.
We'll see. You heard Cormier after the Rumble fight too, though. He said I had to put everything into that fight to beat that guy.
Yeah, because there's so much power there.
Oh God.
I mean, everyone says that he's the best fighter out of all of them.
I can't believe he was fighting at 170.
He was?
He was fighting at 170. Can you believe that? Rumble.
He's like a natural 205er, isn't he?
Natural.
I mean, he technically could fight probably heavyweight, right?
Oh, easy. He probably walks around at 230.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. He's fighting at 170.
He was. Now he's going to fight at 205.
Remember like 5 years ago, he had trouble making weight all the time?
That's probably what it was. He was having trouble making weight.
Yeah. But,
fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'd pick Rumble in that fight. Who else is on that card? Artem, Connor's boy, is fighting Nate's boy.
In the same one, 202?
Same card.
Oh, shit.
So that's kind of cool, too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Who's Nate's boy? I forget his name. Avila or something like that. I don't know anything about him. I know a little bit about Artem just from the Ultimate Fighter.
Artem Levin?
Yeah. And he's got some power, but he
got submitted too, right? Didn't he get submitted?
He's lost every fight since he won the
Ultimate
Fighter.
Yeah.
I think he's fought 2 or 3 times. He's lost every time.
Yeah, he got beat up.
So he needs to win.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win, he may be done.
Really? You think they'll kick him out?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Maybe they'll give him another. Yeah, but he's got power. He needs to become more well-rounded, though.
Yeah.
He's just...
he's got a lot of leaks in his game.
Yeah.
When you're at that level, like I said, when you're at that level of UFC, you need to be at the top of your game. And a lot of different levels, and there's somebody I'm watching the podcast of The Fighter and the Kid. You ever watch that?
No.
You never watched that. That's why on my last podcast I was like, I'm not a fighter and I'm not a kid, because he breaks down. He used to, Brendan Schaub used to be a heavyweight fighter, and he breaks down a lot of no nonsense approach to fighting, and he says, listen, you may be a top 10 class fighter, but you're not doing what a top 10 class fighter does in terms of nutrition, in terms of training camp, in terms of travel, in terms of all the other aspects besides your skill set.
Oh, yeah.
So your skill set may be there, but then how you train, how you supplement your nutrition, how you're resting, how you're doing all the traveling, how you're doing all these other things that a real true top 10 premier guy does, to be able to afford to do that stuff, to be able to have the access to the people around. It's all about your teammates.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you could be a great fighter, but if you don't have a team to support you, to put you through all that, it's a real tough uphill battle.
You need the best of the best,
especially
as far as a support system around you.
Especially because of all the media that these people have to do. They got to do They have to do a shitload of media.
That's a job in itself.
Yeah.
Just the media. It is.
It is. I mean, that's one of the things why I started respecting Conor when he made the decision not to show up to media. I know a lot of fighters were angry at him, but it's like, man, this guy's putting way more work than what you guys do. Like
and
all those other, than everybody, one of those guys. Everyone who was saying, well, he should have showed up because we all have to show up. Yeah, think about how much more press that guy had to do than everybody else.
And check this out. On that card, the main event and co-main event did not do media.
I know.
What? Kind of weird.
But Miesha Tate didn't do it because she was the she did media.
They did. Conor said. I remember Conor saying they interviewed him. He said the main event and the co-main event did not do media at the time. It was Cormier Jones.
Okay, I think that's what he meant.
Right.
I think he meant the Brock Lesnar and
Lesnar Hunt.
Lesnar Hunt and Spider Silva before it was Spider Silva, when it was John Jones and Cormier. Yeah.
They didn't do media.
John Jones didn't, and neither did Brock.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which was bullshit. It's like they had a fucking free pass.
They got Brock on that card last minute, and look at the nightmare it's been.
But you don't think that they had ployed that before?
No, they did. They definitely did.
Because he was all juiced to the tits.
He was there before Conor bailed.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. He had to.
He was just so.
They were in the works for it.
When I saw him weigh in, I was like, "That is the best shape he's ever been in."
Yeah, and he's older, like 38.
And he was like 10 years old. I was like, "This guy is in great shape."
Yeah.
And then now you hear about what happened. You're like, no wonder.
And that takes nothing away from what he's done to get there. But if you're going to go up against a fighter, and these are the new USADA rules, and that fighter Mark Hunt is following all those and passed all of his tests.
Yeah,
that's just BS, dude.
Sucks.
Especially with the beast that Brock Lesnar is, dude. Mark Hunt could have got really hurt.
And that's been Hunt's deal. He's like, one of these days somebody's going to get real hurt. Somebody's going to test positive for steroids, and then they'll make a change. He's right. They're not making a change right now. If you get popped for steroids, the minimum should be the first time 2 years.
What about the purse if you win? Half.
That's a gray area, man. I don't know how you handle that.
I say you give half of your purse to the opponent. I mean, that's
I've never
not all the purse, but half of it.
I've never thought about it. I wouldn't mind having, hey, you forfeit your purse. You
the entire
cheated.
purse.
That's
Wow.
it. That's it. I bet you guys won't be on roids.
Look at the shit that they put those two baseball players, Barry Bonds and McGuire. They put those guys through a ringer, and then you're not hearing anything about Brock Lesnar right now. There's no media about it.
There's a little backlash on it, not
a little
too
bit,
much.
but you don't hear it. It's not mainstream.
No, he's back in the WWE. Life's back to normal.
Yeah,
he got a few mil. He's chilling.
He got like 12.
Oh, I'm sure. Did he get that much?
Yeah, like 12
That's
million.
incredible.
That's crazy.
He'll never be back.
He's gone.
He's
cashed out.
He's done.
He's done. Came back in for one last hoorah.
Yep.
On historically, like you said, on paper, the best card on paper. So he's in the history books. 200 stands out because it's just like those mile marker.
He was on 100 and 200.
There you go, mile marker type events, and then he's like, screw it, I'm out of here.
I know friends that bet on that fight, and they bet on Hunt, and they were so pissed. They wanted their money back. Oh, it was great. Yeah, man. This should be a good card. Who else is on this card that's an exciting fight? Rumble
Johnson. But what about the girls?
Who's fighting on the who are the girls that are
I
fighting?
just looked this up last night. I was talking to somebody about this, and it's funny because last time for 200, I printed out all of the fighters on the main card, the sub card, and on this one, I said I was going to be prepared, and I'm not.
I looked at it the other day.
I just looked at it last night, man. This was something. It was like, so there's something live going on with UFC right now. They're putting it on a live.
Yeah, it's media week, right?
Yeah. So today's Wednesday, right? Today's Wednesday.
Yep.
So there's only a couple of days left. They got to really pump up the media. Have you watched any of the like the Embedded?
I have.
Those are great series.
I
man.
love that
I
series.
love that series.
And it's so fresh. Like they just filmed Sunday and they aired it Monday or Tuesday.
Last night I got home at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and they said posted 5 hours ago. So what is that, like 8 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night? They had already posted. They had posted the third vlog or the third
quick turnaround.
Embedded.
Quick turnaround. So by the way, Cody Garbrandt is fighting on this card.
He is.
You didn't know that? He's fighting Takeya Mizugaki.
Okay, Mizugaki, yes.
Who's dangerous, but I'd take Cody in that one. Raquel Pennington versus Elizabeth Phillips. Those are the girls.
What's the other girl that's fighting? She's from Orange County. She's from Newport Beach.
Oh, no way. I don't know.
Yeah. Scroll down the.
You talking about Randa Marcos or Courtney Casey?
Courtney Casey. Yeah.
She's from OC.
She's from Newport Beach.
Wow.
Go girl. In fact, the girl that I was talking to last night, it's a friend of my buddy. She was like, "Yeah, my friend's fighting in that fight," and I was like, "Oh, right on." And then, she's like, "Oh yeah, it's what is it? Cody Casey? Is that what her name is?"
What is it? Courtney Casey.
Courtney Casey. Yeah, she's from Newport Beach. And I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, well, I'll root for her." So go Courtney Casey.
Wow, you know what? There's some good fights on this card. Neil Magny versus Lorenz Larkin.
Dude, Larkin, yes, Lorenz Larkin, and
who do you like in that one?
Neil Magny. That guy's a beast.
That's a tough fight.
Dude,
man.
that's why this is such a great card. This card, in my opinion, smokes 200.
I agree. On paper, I don't think it's
not as attractive.
Quite the pop.
No, because people don't really know,
but
except for
the
McGregor.
fight counts, right? And you know what? Rick Story versus Donald Cerrone.
See,
Cerrone's on this card too.
Everyone likes Cowboy. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people like Cowboy. And he's built a name.
And he's fighting at 170 now.
Yeah, which is a lot better for him.
He looks so much better at 170.
Yes, way better.
Oh,
he's got more danger. They're both 155 and 170 are very dangerous classes. It's a very dangerous area to be in.
It's very deep divisions.
Deep.
Yeah.
Deep as deep vaginas.
Oh, as deep as they get.
Speaking of deep, how deep did you go in your world travels?
So, last year I went to Amsterdam, Paris, France, and Belgium. That's where my family's from.
Oh, wow.
Year before that, I went to China and Thailand.
That's sick. Now,
that was epic.
Did you go to the Great Wall?
Yes.
Was it amazing?
It was awesome. The thing about the Great Wall is, I didn't know this, but you take what are those things that take you up the mountain?
Tram?
Not a tram. Those things that hang from the wire. And they take you up. They're like the little cabins that go up. So we took that up the Great Wall.
Okay.
It was 95 degrees that day. We were just sweating. We walked.
There's no windows in it?
No. It was all open. I'm just saying, it was just so humid and hot. And then we walked the wall for, a mile or two. And then we took toboggans down.
What?
Yeah, it was amazing.
There's toboggans?
They have these things built. It's like little roller coasters, and then you just get in the toboggan. It's just a handbrake.
Yeah.
And they go about 30, 35 miles an hour. And you just take it down the mountain, because it's a few miles to get up to it.
It's up there, huh?
Yeah, but it was amazing, man. It was.
Did they say how many years it took to build that?
I'm sure they did. I don't remember. I know a lot of people died building it.
As with any big build.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible. I mean,
4,000 miles long or some shit?
Something like that. I don't know exactly. It was a few years ago, but our tour guide was telling us all the stuff. But
he spoke good English?
She did.
She did.
She was awesome. She took us to all like the, Chinese restaurants. And,
really?
Dude, it was kind of crazy, bro. The bathrooms just like had holes.
Yeah.
Holes that you go in.
There's no shitter.
No.
I mean, there's a shit hole, but there's no porcelain.
You just go number one until you get back to your hotel.
Really? There's no porcelain god to pray at, huh?
No, man. No. It was a culture shock a little bit, but it was cool. It was cool.
Just drop it down the hole. Just don't drop your phone.
Oh, God.
Or your watch or something.
And then we went to Tiananmen Square. That was awesome.
That's history
and
they
just have these buildings that go for miles and miles and miles, and they're just like these temples and stuff. And like, back in the ancient days, that's where everybody would congregate. That's where everybody lived, and it was just an amazing sight. So China was cool. I was only in China for like the day. We flew over. We had a big layover, so we did the Great Wall and Tiananmen Square.
Okay.
And then we flew to Bangkok. Yeah, and that was awesome. So Thailand was epic. Went to Bangkok and Phuket. So Bangkok's like the downtown area, the city life of Thailand, and then you go to Phuket, which is like the beach resort type area.
In Thailand, and that's like fuck it Thai, but
Phuket, fuck it.
Yeah,
yep.
fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it Thai.
Absolutely. Bangkok and fuck it Thailand. You got to go there. Those are the two places to go in Thailand.
Yes. Everyone gets. I've been getting some backlash that I say the cuss word. I say fuck too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't seem like you cuss too much.
But I say that it's with a PH, so it's not really like I'm cussing.
Yeah, just like fat.
Yeah, exactly. You fat fuck.
You fucking fat fuck.
I think there's a time and place for cursing, man, and sometimes you have to curse. This is the thing, is that in normal TV, all the cursing is bleeped out, so you don't ever hear it.
It just emphasizes things so much more. But I think Rogan's talked about this, and he cusses on his podcast, and it's just like...
Yeah, he's got a filthy mouth.
Oh, yeah. And it just emphasizes his point so much better.
Yeah, he does. It does, and that's why sometimes I use it when it's not needed, but again, who's to say? I mean, this is just, it's naturally when it comes out of my mouth. But I've been able to, the last couple podcasts, I'm putting some brakes on it a little bit, just because I noticed that I was just saying it almost to say it, because I didn't have any other words to fill in with. So I was just
watched
cussing.
your podcast. I haven't thought that.
Really?
You're good, man. You're good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's the evolution of a podcast. This is sometimes it's tough, man. Yeah. It's good to have if you don't have another person to do the podcast with, it's super hard. There's a lot of guys that just put out their single podcast.
Oh, that's tough, man.
It's super tough.
That
tough. It's just a rant.
Think about Vin Scully for the Dodgers.
Yeah. He just retired, didn't he?
He's going to retire at the end of the year. He has been doing it solo
like 60 years?
Something incredible like that.
50 years?
By himself.
Yeah.
And he's got just knowledge on every single player that steps to the plate.
Yeah.
Whether that's their first game or their 1,000th game.
Yeah.
He's got a little tidbit. Oh, when he was 17, his mom took him out to the farm and he rolled his ankle, baling hay or whatever the hell he says, dude. It's just like, it's incredible. But because he talks to every player and he takes his job so seriously. But yeah, I'm sure. So you do a lot of podcasts just by yourself? I've
done a few. I try to get people in here, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I did one last night. I was supposed to have my other buddy, Steve Shamu. He's usually on here. Call him the Shamrock. He's been on here, but not with the cameras. He's only been on the audio version that I had before I started with the camera. And I want to get him back in here because talk UFC and talk fighting. He's all into this shit. Yeah. He's also a world traveler. He travels all around the world all the time. So that's kind of, everyone asks me, what's your podcast about? It's like, well, I guess it's about fighting and about travel, and fighting and travel. How are these two mixing? It's like, well, because
they're interesting topics.
And they kind of go hand in hand, to be honest. Because everywhere in the world, there's a fight style. Right. There's a combat style, and there's combat all around the world. And if you travel and some hand-to-hand combat, it kind of makes you have a little bit more. I don't know what's the word. You have a little bit more less ego. For one, and I think you're more apt to feel confident in your travel. Yeah. Not so like, oh my God, what's gonna come around the corner right now?
Right, you're not worried about getting robbed or whatever. But
you may be worried, but you still have that confidence level inside that allows you to feel a little bit at ease.
Absolutely,
I think. You could take care of yourself. I went on a ride right after my podcast last night. I went on a ride on my bike, my motorcycle, and I met a friend over at a bar. And it was kind of one of those biker bar, kind of like just
dive bar.
Yeah, it's almost like the Beehive. You've been to the Beehive?
Yeah,
okay, so it's kind of like the Beehive. It's called the Cherry Pit. It's up in like Orange.
Okay.
And I go in there and I meet my buddy and his biker friend that's a girl or whatever, and they both ride up on their motorcycles, and we go into the bar, and these two Mexican dudes walking with this chick. And there's a taller guy, and he seemed just like a real mellow, kind of husky. And then there was this friend who's a little shorter. He looked like a gorilla.
Yeah.
He's beefy, and he had like the real sharp fade. And he was just looking around, and we'll get some beers. And he's like looking around to find out who's looking at his chick.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of thing. And then he did a walk around, right? Like me and my buddy were just talking like face to face. I wasn't paying attention to the chick, and he kind of got real close, like. And like I could see him in my peripheral because I was focused on my buddy was showing me something on his phone, and we're talking, and he did around the table walk real close. There was nothing around our table to come right around our table.
He made it a point.
Like I'm strolling through to fucking show my shit, and I was thinking, oh, this guy has no clue.
Oh God,
this guy has no clue. Like he's been drinking. First of all, that's not good to be drinking and try.
You just wanted to choke him out, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I was just hoping that he didn't engage in anything. Yeah. Because the last thing I want to do is get in a fight because it costs you money. You got to go to court and got to pay fines, and usually going to get arrested and this and that. And it's not worth it. And usually other people get hurt somehow. Yeah. This is not worth it, man.
It's never worth it, really, unless you absolutely have to.
Now, but I was prepared for him to fucking start shit. Like, were you looking at my chick or some crazy shit?
Well, you get put on notice when somebody like that walks around and starts, you're automatically aware.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit. So I was just focusing on my buddy and listening to this shit and thinking, oh, man, I hope this guy doesn't do pop off right now because I just need to go home in a little bit and go rest. I don't need to walk home with a bloody face.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, after this, you go to work and then
go to work and go to work.
Go to work and go to work.
Yep.
How's work been? Good?
Well, man.
That's awesome, man.
Well.
That's good. And the house is going good? Everything?
House is good. I really want to buy a new car.
Really?
And I really, really want to buy a Porsche. But just don't. It's just, oh, God, I just don't know if I could do it. But, yeah.
If you're having doubts, think about it again.
Yeah.
There's on Beach Boulevard across the way from where you live.
Yeah.
There's that shopping center where the DMV used to be, but like Mimi's Cafe and all that. They closed all that down.
It's all closed down now.
What is that going to be?
That, I believe, they're going to tear that down and put apartments, I think.
I thought so, too.
Yeah, I think so, too. The thing is I've been there for like 2.5 years now. They have that piano store still there. Acapulco just closed down.
Yeah,
but they just put the DMV there.
But that's on the far end.
It's on the far right-hand side.
But that middle area because DMV is across. There's a street that separates the DMV from the rest of that whole parking lot. And, so Mimi's Cafe, Acapulco, and then all those like little, what do they call that? Strip mall?
Yeah, it's a strip mall. And there used to be a big Ralph's.
It used
to be a big Ralph's. But yeah, I think they'll probably tear it down.
Beach Boulevard. That's Stanton?
It's all right there. Westminster, Stanton, Garden Grove. It's all like the epicenter right there.
So apartments are the big thing now.
It's I think so, man. Real estate. Look at real estate. It's just going crazy.
And it's the renting kind of real estate.
Oh, God. I mean, rent. People are paying more in rent than I'm paying for my mortgage. It's crazy.
I know.
I mean, a 2-bedroom in Orange County is, $2,000 plus.
Yeah, $2,000 plus.
Minimum?
Yes.
It's crazy.
I know. I rent my house, and it's fucking expensive.
Yeah, and you used to have a house in Huntington.
Yeah, and
that
was
it at a great price right back then, right?
Kinda, and then the fucking whole market took a shit, and that was fun.
Yeah,
took on that ride. My buddy and I were talking yesterday how the one thing they don't teach you in school is credit. Like they don't teach you that in high school. Like that should be a prerequisite before you go to college. Is a credit class.
Yeah,
credit class.
I mean, I remember my mom and dad talking about how they used to teach them how to balance their checkbook.
Yeah.
And then you kind of got away from that.
It was balancing check. It was more about math than anything.
It wasn't as complicated as it is today. That's for sure. I mean, all these different types of loans and all that stuff.
Credit ratings and looking at your credit score and all that stuff. That's such a huge
part of life.
Yeah, it really is. It's a huge part of life that no one's trained on. It's like, I think every person should be taught some type of martial art in school. To learn to combat your ego and to combat the potential for getting hurt, because that's a main thing in life. Like look how many times there could be a potential confrontation. Have you been in a confrontation ever?
Not many, but I have been in a few. Yes.
Because you're a good talker. You can be able to be
like
smart
I said,
and walk
you
your way
try
out
to avoid it if you can.
Fucking
you try to avoid it, but if there's a guy that's just not gonna have it, then you got to do what you got to do. But just in self-defense, you should be taught it.
Yes.
Just for self-defense.
Yes. To understand that those limits are there.
Yeah.
And to be able to put away, or at least keep at bay a potential problem that can inflict pain on you and hurt and shit. Like Conor McGregor is going to try to do to Nate Diaz this weekend.
So you got Nate, huh?
I got Nate, man. I'm not calling anything. I'm just hoping it's a good fight. I really do.
I think it's going to be a great fight. I think they're both very well prepared. I think I'm not as confident as I was last fight, obviously because Conor lost. But I'm picking Conor. I think he's going to be smarter about it. I don't think he's going to gas. I think he's going to try to pick him apart. I think he's going to try to pick him apart. He's not going to try to knock him out. Maybe in the later rounds. I don't see this ending. He says he's going to end it in the second. I don't see that happening. I think he's going to try to feel him out in the first, pick him apart in the second and third, and then maybe go for the close in the fourth. I think this is going to go deep.
I heard something about because Nate Diaz mentioned something about that John Kavanaugh and a couple of the coaches were saying something around they're going to try to pick for the fourth round or some shit, or they're calling the fourth round.
Yeah, I can see that, man. And I think, look, man, Nate's going to be more prepared as well. He looks massive.
He's walking around. Well, he was walking around last week at 200 pounds.
That's what he said. Did you hear the conference between him and Conor?
Refresh it.
Yeah, the reporter asked Nate, they're like, Nate, you were walking around at 200, your coach says, right? And then there's just a pause, and he goes, yup. And Conor just starts laughing. It was good. But he's close to it. Okay, I'll say that. I don't know if he's quite 200, but he's close to it.
Dude, I weighed in yesterday at 210.
Wow.
Yeah. I think last week I was somewhere around 215, 214.
Yeah.
So I started this cleanse. I mentioned it last night, and I was like, I have to fucking, I gotta get back in shape. I had a belly, beer gut.
Dude, I started running. It's sad.
Really?
Oh, God. It's bad, dude.
Because you used to be fucking shredded, weren't you?
I haven't been working out, man. I haven't been working out. I used to work out all the time, but now I'm just got too much going on, which is just a bullshit excuse.
Yeah.
But, I'm starting to get back into it, get back into shape. I can get back into shape pretty quick. 30, 60 days, I could probably drop, 10 pounds easily.
Oh, yeah.
Because I could never weigh above 170 ever my whole life.
Really?
And now I'm 185.
See, I need to get to 185.
Yeah. You'd be cut at 185.
That's my walk-around weight. Because when I compete at jiu-jitsu, it's 179. You have to weigh below 180.
Okay.
With your gi. So I was like, I think I weighed in when I was naked. I weighed like 172, 173, and then with my gi, like 176, 177 around there.
Yeah. I'd have to fight at like 155.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I could probably fight at 155.
No.
Yeah.
You cannot get down to that. You think you could?
I think I could.
That is crazy.
I was 155 in high school.
Yeah. It's like 115. Yeah.
Fuck. Well, it's 10:30.
It's 10:30, man.
It's hard to. We're gonna reel in the fish here. We're gonna wind it up a little bit.
It was fun, man. I got to come back and do another one. We'll talk about some other stuff.
I'm about to do a post-fight podcast.
Post-fight. Oh.
Let's see how this.
So let's finish it off with some predictions here.
Yes.
So let's go through the card here.
Yeah, I like that.
And then
this guy's more prepared than I am.
And then you can give me your prediction. I'll give you mine. Okay. And then we'll do a post-fight.
Okay.
And we'll see who is.
Yes.
You know.
Okay.
So obviously, let's finish with the main event. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to go over with these guys that we don't really know.
Okay.
So Neil Magny, Lorenz Larkin.
I'm definitely going to pick Neil Magny.
That is a coin flip for me. I will go with Neil Magny as well.
Okay.
But that's a great matchup.
Yes. It's going to be a fun fight.
The Courtney Casey, we'll just go with our girl from Orange County.
Yeah, right? We'll stick with our Newport girl here. Courtney Casey. Go, Courtney. Who's she fighting?
Randa Marcos.
Okay, Randa Marcos.
Who's from Iraq.
Oh, wow. Oh, you know what? I know who that girl is. I've seen her. Yeah, she's badass.
Okay.
Yeah, she was raised here, I think, raised in Canada. I think she's from Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a really cool person.
Check that
from her
out.
Interviews, yeah.
Yeah.
I want both of them to win.
I want a tie. So Artem versus Chris Avila.
I think I'm going to pick Chris.
I'll go with Avila just because I know how Artem fights. I don't know anything about Avila, but I know Artem has just been... he has to win, though, at the same time. But I'm going to go with Avila.
Oh, shit. We're going against Connor's boy.
Yep, sorry. Got to do it. Raquel Pennington versus Elizabeth Phillips.
Raquel Pennington.
I'll go with her as well. Garbrandt versus Mizugaki.
Garbrandt.
You taking Garbrandt? I'll take him as well. Rick Story, Cerrone. I think we're saying.
Oh, fuck.
You like Story?
I like Cowboy Cerrone. But Rick Story, he could put a fit for. I don't know, man. I'm gonna go for. I'm pulling for Cowboy.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for him.
I'd pick Cerrone in that one.
I'm pulling for him.
I don't think that one will be close.
I'm not trying to call any predictions, but I'm pulling for him. Okay. I'm hoping that he wins it.
Anthony Johnson, Glover, Teixeira.
Something tells me Glover with a submission.
Wow. If you want him to go to the ground. I'm picking Rumble Johnson, first or second round knockout.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And then obviously Diaz, McGregor.
I'm definitely going Diaz.
Oh.
And I'm going to say Diaz chokes him out second or third round.
Wow.
Another choke.
So I'll go McGregor, TKO.
TKO?
Third or fourth round.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I say TKO.
Just gets on top of him somehow.
Yeah, just starts beating him up or something. Gets him down or something. Yeah. But I'll go TKO.
Third or fourth?
McGregor. Yeah, third or fourth round. I don't think it'll be an early fight, but we'll see.
No, I hope it kind of plays out. No matter what, it's gonna be fun. It's just I hope it kind of is a little bit lengthy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have my football draft on Saturday. Then we're watching the fight. It's just gonna be
real quick. We got 3 minutes left on this.
Yep.
Football draft. Yep. Fantasy football, right?
Yep.
What the fuck?
Have you ever played?
Never.
It's so fun.
Okay,
I hear this. Football though? Are you into football?
I like football. I used to be into football when Taz and all those guys lived over there.
Yeah.
Did you live with Taz too?
I didn't live with Taz. When he moved out, I lived with Folky.
Our friend Tasmanian Devil. Yeah, I was into football big, eating lots of steak and drinking lots of beer and gaining lots of weight. And then I got out of that. And football's fun. I think I might get back into it because the Rams are back in town.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm a Rams fan, so
there you go.
Not when they were in St. Louis, I wasn't, but now that they're back in LA, I'm
sure. You should play for free. You can play for free.
Yeah.
Do a fantasy draft for free. Play in a league this year. You'll get hooked.
That's bad.
And then you'll play for money next year.
So you play for cash. You play for money.
Oh, yeah. This is a $275 buy-in. It's an auction draft. So there's two types of draft. You can do an auction draft where you basically put bids on players.
Okay.
Or you do a snake draft where you're just in line and you pick next or whatever. So
okay.
A couple of auctions, usually tougher, more skilled type of draft.
Because you have to, you're allotted so much money.
You got to
budget
budget your money and everything. Yeah.
So so the $275 gets you how much fantasy money?
The whole year.
But how much?
So that's just a buy-in.
Okay, yeah.
So we start off with $200 in the auction league.
Okay.
And then you have $100 throughout the season to pick up players off the street if you guys get hurt or whatever it is.
Okay. So $1 for a guy, or $5 or something like that, or 10 or 100.
But it lasts you the whole year.
Yeah.
And you play for the whole year, and then there's big prizes at the end if you can be one of the better teams.
That's why people get hooked, because it's like this whole like real game, and then depending on how this bases on stats, right?
Yeah, so yards, how many yards they're getting, how many catches they get, and
what if it's a defensive type player?
You don't draft any defensive players.
No defensive.
You draft a team defense.
Oh,
and
very cool.
Like that.
So like you say, I want the Broncos defense.
Yeah, who's a very good defense. Obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the Raiders will torch them this year.
Really?
Oh no, you heard it. You heard it.
I forgot you're a Raider fan. I love that. This guy's a Raider fan. I dig it. Yeah. I wanted the Raiders to come to LA, man, but
I think they'll go to Vegas. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. It's right next door.
Go to Vegas for some games.
Be down.
That'd be great.
100%.
You make a weekend of it.
I drove to friggin' Denver in the snow to go watch the Raiders beat up Denver, and I'm a AFC West fan. So if it's a team AFC on the West, I'm a fan. Makes me kind of a weirdo. People don't like that. They want me to pick sides. But I like Broncos. I like the Kansas City Chiefs. I like the Raiders. I like the Chargers. Are they still going to be in San Diego?
Good question.
We don't know. But now the Rams are in the NFC.
Yes.
Right?
They play in Seattle's division,
National Football
Arizona.
Conference.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. All right, brother.
Should be a fun season. Well, thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thank you for coming down, dude. It's topsnapmedia.com. Check out the podcast. You can also check it out here on YouTube. Boop, boop, boop. I always give my shout out for Instagram. Its username is JUSERNAMEISJAY. Username is J on Instagram. And on Twitter, you can follow me at Topsnap_podcast. That's TOPSNAP_PODCAST. You want to shout out your Instagram at all?
California Kid 83.
California Kid 83. Follow my man Brandon on Instagram. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If you've watched this whole thing, I really appreciate it, like always, because it takes a lot to watch a podcast to its end. All right, UFC 202. Tune in this Saturday, August 20th, and see how good our predictions are, huh?
We'll see. Should
All right.
be fun.
Topsnap,
Thanks, man.
we out. Love you. Bye.
Later.
Shoots.